DM073 Gaming is brought to you by Happy Little Hug Factory. If you're looking for pre-orders of the upcoming sets, including singles or booster boxes of previous sets that have come out, you can check the link down below. Happy Little Hug Factory also has a buy list for Force of Will, so you can get rid of those extra cards you have laying around and turn it into new upcoming product. Thanks so much, guys. Check them out and enjoy the video. Hey there everyone, DM073 here, bringing you the deck profile for the 1/1 Counters Reiya list that was piloted and designed by Jason earlier this week. So this whole idea is vampires have always really liked 1/1 counters and neg1 counters and that whole kind of thing. So we just kind of combined everything together and kind of made a very thematic Reiya deck around that. So obviously Reiya on our front side, we get those mystery counters, those 3 of them, and then she flips over to be able to gain additional mystery counters when she flips. We're still waiting on the sealed item. We got it released yesterday on the spoilers, but I'll talk about those in a different video. So then we go into our stone base real quick. We play 4 Ancient Magic Stone, 4 Heaven's Rift, and 2 Shadowy Light. I honestly am not a huge fan of 4 Ancient Magic Stone myself, just because it's 4 Shock Rocks, but I can kind of also see the trade-off. I think because this deck is primarily black instead of white, I think you could get away with playing 4 Shadowy Light instead, because it is a darkness-based deck, and Shadowy Light is base darkness, but that's just my personal preferences. So going into the Resonators, we play 4 Angel of Hope, turns into Angel of Despair, gets 1/1 counters, helps you gain life, and then when it flips over, you can destroy any Resonator on the field if it has a 1/1 counter, plus it's a flyer, so that's pretty cool. 3 Servant of the Mikage, because again we want to try to kind of gift 1/1 counters sometimes for some of the main effects, or as well as being able to pump up like Angel of Hope or anything other kinds of things. 3 Nightfall Bloodsucker, same kind of thing. It's that instant speed generation of 1/1 counters, which is pretty great. Yashimaru is kind of the essentially equivalent of what is his name? Umeshima Taro for this deck. With Umeshima Taro using Mikage to ping something for damage and then kill something, Yashimaru just gets to kill anything that your opponent controls that has a 1/1 counter on it. 2 Rinka, because you're playing a vampire deck, so why not? 2 Yashahime, because if you spread all those 1/1 counters kind of everywhere on the board, you can then kind of vacuum them into Yashahime, and then she can quickly turn all of those 1/1 counters and like double them and give them to Rinka, who can then just fly over and kill your opponent, which is pretty cool. It also says target vampire, right? So those counters can then be moved to people like Reiya because she's a vampire. Then we play 2 Bloodsucking Butler, a way to generate additional mystery counters, as well as being able to do that kind of instant speed stat neg, which I think is actually pretty relevant. 1 Grim, because he's a vampire as well, and helps us to generate mystery counters, and then 1 Viola, because we want to be able to give Reiya Imperishable. Going to the spells, 2 Blood of the Mikage, just to kind of help some pump additional damage into it, right? So one of these with Reiya is 2,000 damage in the air, kind of pretty relevant, and then if you can give her Imperishable, that's also pretty good. 3 Spider's Web, to be able to recur stuff, as well as doing kind of tricks with Rinka and everything else. 2 Death at Midnight, to force your opponent to sack stuff, as well as being able to give them 1/1 counters. 2 Blood Sprays for draw power, as well as being a kill spell. 2 Fated Reunion for some consistency in the deck, because we can, you know, typically get 2 creatures, so really this is a 2-drop search for any card. 2 Twin Blades of Hope and Despair, which turns into Sword of Fate. I think this card is very good in this list, in the fact that you can really kind of manipulate the fact that your creatures are kind of small and chunk in for some pretty significant damage. And then Life Stealing Altar, Soul Stealing Altar. It's a pretty solid card. It helps to really power up the deck's draw power, especially since there's a lot of things where we can like sacrifice cards, like with Nightfall Bloodsucker, to immediately then just draw a card. And then lastly, Light Castle and Palace of Hope. We are trying to beat your opponent's face in with rulers or creatures, so you know, being able to flood the field and then kind of stick a couple massive amounts of 1/1 counters and then flip over and kind of give your opponent this kind of massive stat neg, I think is just kind of an extra component to the deck. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think. Huge thanks to Jason for running this list and kind of showing it off. If you guys would make any tweaks to it upcoming, do you think that this style of deck isn't kind of the direction Reiya needs to go now that we've seen that sealed item? Again, I'll talk about that in a spoiler video soon. But let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. And until next time, this is DM073 signing off.
Huge thanks to the patrons of the channel. You see their names here on the screen as well as down below in the description. They are what help make this channel run and help me do these awesome projects for you guys. If you feel like joining the channel and getting access to all the cool perks that come with being a patron, click on the P on the screen or the link down below. Thanks so much. See you next time.